my name is Tonya Ogino. I'm raw food mother from Japan, from Tokyo. I have 4 years old son, and I'm working with small kids and raw food and mothers. And all mothers have same questions, very important questions about vitamin B12, about calcium, what kind of food should be first after breastfeeding. And I'm so happy to introduce you today my very good friend Ka Sundance, and his family with 5 kids traveling over the world, the all family, raw food family. Of course, he knows all answers for these questions. So let's ask him. Good evening, yeah. Good morning, dear Ka.
Hello from Costa Rica, from the beach. Yeah.
Yes, I'm very happy to do this. Hello, Tonya. Hello to all the beautiful viewers and subscribers there. My name is Ka Sundance. I'm a daddy of a family. We have 5 kids, my wife and me together, and we are a location-independent family. We travel the world non-stop, open end, and we do this because we are changing the world for the better. We share health advice, natural health advice with people all around the world through our online businesses, in the form of ebooks and courses. And we do this with our full heart and passion, really change the world. That is how our lifestyle looks like, so we can, this is supporting our goals. And we're into the raw foods. We have been going on a raw diet 10 years ago with our little son, because he was so sick and we wanted to heal him. So that is the background why we started into this lifestyle, and we could heal all the symptoms within several days, and we never looked back from there on. And now here we are in Costa Rica right now. I'm sitting here on the beach. You see, this is the ocean is just like 10 meters away. My kids are playing over there. I have sand between my toes, and I'm really happy now to talk with you and answer your questions and hold my message to your people.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. Okay. So first, my question is about calcium. Sorry, nutrition. Nutrition, because children, it's Japanese people, they are very short, and they often have teeth problem. So they think that cow milk calcium will solve this kind of problem. And when I explain something about raw food diet, first question, of course, about calcium. They think they will shorten, they will have teeth problems forever. So, and your kids look so healthy.
First off, hello to Japan. I'm happy that you give me the chance to introduce myself to your people. I'm happy to be here for you from Costa Rica. Yeah, in regards to calcium in kids. You have to see that cow's milk, especially the pasteurized cow's milk, there is no calcium gained from. Actually, there are case studies showing that drinking a lot of pasteurized cow's milk is supporting osteoporosis. That means like the body, in order to digest that cooked, which is, pasteurized is cooked cow's milk, to get rid of it, it sucks calcium out of the bones. So it's actually the other way around. Why are so many, all the elderly people who have been drinking milk their whole life have osteoporosis? So, that really has to be questioned. If you want to drink animal protein or milk to support yourself getting calcium, then it has to be raw. Don't go for the pasteurized stuff. And there the problem is that a lot of people cannot digest raw cow's milk. They get all sorts of problems because they have an intolerance against lactose. 25% of all people have an intolerance against lactose. So cow's milk is not the solution here, especially not the pasteurized one. It is denaturalized. The molecular structure, the chemical structure of the milk is cracked up in the cooking process. So it's non-digestible calcium that is in the milk. That is in regards to the milk. Alternatives are leafy greens, for example. Leafy greens in form from juices. That's why we're so heavily promoting green juices. What are the strongest animals on earth? The elephants, the giraffes, the horse, the cow. Where on earth does the cow get the calcium from? Think about that. If it's living, it's a grass-fed cow living in a natural environment, They eat greens. They eat the greens. So we just shortcut the entire thing. If we consume the greens, the dark leafy greens, we juice it, and that's a great way for calcium. It's in hemp seeds. It is in bananas. It's in various different fruits and veggies, actually. But it is most dense, and broccoli is calcium rich. And it is very dense, especially in greens. And as it's hard to chew a lot of greens, we always recommend having the juices. That's why our kids have no health issues, or especially teeth issues at all. You see kids that have bright white teeth because we drink juices, green juices every day, big amounts. That's my answer in regards to calcium.
So your kids they like green juice? Because usually, you know, kids, they don't like
Yes.
veggies and they don't like green juice.
Yeah, here my trick is, we have to see, we do this since 10 years, so my kids have been growing up. That's one of the first things they have been drinking is coconut, which is also a great source of calcium, coconut water and green juices, so we just don't know any difference. But I know this from many other parents that this is an issue. What I recommend here is that you start making green juices that are very sweet in the beginning. Make them very yummy, and just so that that the kids connect the green color with something they like, something delicious. And then just slowly over the period of weeks or probably months, you just increase the amount of green and you cut back on the banana, which you use to sweeten the juice. So that's what I recommend. Make a fruit juice, a delicious fruit juice, and add 1 or 2 leaves of green in it so that it gets a greenish color. And then again, you just slowly transform it into a more healthy green juice.
What about supplement B12? Do you and your family get supplements?
That's true. Well,
or-
if all those kind of questions pop up, what we highly recommend to everybody is doing regularly blood tests. That's what we do with our family to just be on the safe side. You can I hear so many people I do raw foods and it's all good and all healthy, and especially with kids. I had kids also from families who were really low in B12 and they were almost lethargic. Were going to hospital because the kids were so without energy. So this is a very serious issue, the B12, what you talk about. So what I recommend, honestly, is doing blood tests very frequently, every half year, once a year, doing blood tests with your kids and also with yourself to just be sure and check all those levels in your bloodstream. As we are living in the tropics, we have a variety of different greens available. It's not really necessary. Still, and we did a test in the summer, and it was all good. The levels were all good. Joa, our smallest one, was a little low, but still above the critical level. So our levels are good. We still supplement from time to time. We have the feeling we don't get enough greens, or especially we don't alternate them enough. You know, it's also important that you alternate the greens. You don't only consume always the same greens. It is good to get a sublingual a spray, or you can get B12 shots. I don't like the shots too much with the kids, of course, but there's a spray you can put under the tongue or patches. So if you're in doubt here, I would not mess around, and you don't have to. You know, there are vegan options, healthy options you can do, and then by God, in the name of God, supplement yourself. We don't really need this again, but we are in the fortunate position of living in the tropics. So we don't we have the sunlight, we have a variety of ripe fruits and veggies. If you are like most people, I don't know exactly the audience you have, but if you have like a winter, I would rather recommend that you guys look in the wintertime into supplementing B12, possibly also with vitamin K2. It's very important for brain growth. Yeah, and vitamin D also. Those 3 things I normally recommend people sitting in winters with kids to supplement.
Okay, Ka, your youngest daughter, it's so cute, Luna. She's on breastfeeding now, right? And what will be first food for her? What do you recommend to give first food, and from what age?
Okay. So yeah, kids playing next to me. So we have been breastfeeding all of them. You know, aside from Yaro, that's the second son, he was not accepting the breast for whatever reason ever. All of the other ones have been breastfeeding, mostly for years actually. So we recommend breastfeeding as long as it's possible, and the natural way of doing this would actually be that you breastfeed until the kid stop asking for it, wanting for it. In our case, it was always when the next kid was arriving. Katie couldn't cope with a new baby in the belly and having like to breastfeed. So that was, but it was always like 2 or 3 years she was breastfeeding them. Our tip and recommendation for moms to give like new foods or introduce food, solid food to the kids is just going with what your kids is interested in. You know, if you sit, I tell you a real life thing. Yeah, if you sit with your kid and you eat food, it will start sooner or later that the kid starts just grabbing what you have on your plate. So it's the most natural thing that you actually give your kid what you eat, you know, or your kid will want that. If your kid sees, if it's going to be half a year or a year, your kid sees you putting something in the mouth, it will want that. That's just real life experience, you know. So it's kind of hard to just give your kid a different food than you're eating. So and this is a good thing actually because it does ask of you moms, and that's the most important advice I can give, that you should be looking that you eat a healthy diet. And because so often I hear moms who just want the most healthiest food for their kids, and they themselves eat no food they would never give to their kids. So it doesn't work that way. Realistically, your kid will eventually exactly eat what you're eating. Will want that, and if you suppress that, if you kind of keep that away, you put something in your mouth, and you're not allowing your kid to get that. That's not going to be healthy for the kid because sooner or later it will want exactly the foods that you're eating. You're the role model. So you have to ask yourself very carefully what you're putting in your mouth. And a good thing to start, of course, is like very juicy fruits. For example, like watermelon can suck. You know, the first thing is not going to be eating, it's going to be sucking. That's the first thing that babies do. So if you give a piece of watermelon, they can just suck the water off the watermelon, you know, or just a piece of apple or a piece of orange or a piece of mango, all these things they can suck on. And in the beginning, it's always just, you know, sucking and getting the taste of it. And from there, you know, I would start, you know, with the fruits, probably some green juices, definitely some coconut water. But again, the focus should honestly be more on your own plate because your kid is going to want what you're having, and then you can just share. That's how it meant to be, isn't it? That you share the food with your kid, and it's like you're one, and you don't separate the food you eat and the food your kid has to eat. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it's really right. It's right because you know, Japanese they start first food from rice. Of course, they afraid to give fruits because fruits, they afraid of sugar, afraid of teeth problem, afraid of sugar blood problems. So, of course, they eat first rice. You know, many mothers they are on breastfeeding and they found about raw food. They want to change diet to raw food, but they afraid because they afraid of intoxication. They afraid intoxication to the breast milk. So they are looking for information. Should they wait until they finish breastfeeding, or it's safe to change diet and transmit, you know, transition? The transition period, it's sometimes can be very difficult. So what is your recommendation about that?
So the recommendation is not only in regards to mothers breastfeeding, but actually to all people who want to transition to a more healthy diet. I can put it together in one simple sentence: no drastic changes. Just the thing is, even, you know, beyond this is really in regards to everybody. If you make two drastic changes, you will go from a SAD, standard American diet with junk food, to a raw food diet overnight. I tell you from my experience being in the movement for 10 years now, 99% of all people just fall back after, you know, the first week or the first days or in a very short period of time. So that's what I would recommend making like drastic overnight 100% changes to the lifestyle, because this is what's set free a lot of toxins and because you start detoxing if you go on this healthy diet you want. But also emotionally you cannot cope with that. And now to answer your question in regards to the breastfeeding moms, that's also why I do not recommend it, because you instantly start detoxing. What I recommend to everybody, especially for breastfeeding moms, to make slow improvements to your diet. And it's not becoming 100% raw vegan at once, but I would recommend you should slowly cut back on like three main things. It's the white refined sugar, it's the gluten, and it's the cow's milk. It's especially the pasteurized cow's milk. Those three things are killers, I feel. You know, I also would include meat actually, red meat. If you would enter the refined salt, you know, go for crystal Himalayan or sea salt. But those things, if you, and of course coffee, alcohol, but if you, those few things, you just slowly, let fade out of your diet, and you just automatically will gonna eat more fresh raw food, veggies, nuts, and seeds. But it's not about becoming 100% raw vegan. It's really about cutting back on the gluten, sugar, salt, and meat and animal products. That's where the magic is, and where you're going to see improvements. And if you do this slowly, gently, you very well can transform, even if you're breastfeeding. Just give yourself time, drink lots of water, and make yourself green juices to just flush the toxins, out of the system. So drink a lot. If you make a transition, and drinking a lot of water is very important. Possibly coconut water, and especially green juices.
Thank you very much.
Right.
And Ka, about traveling, yeah, I know your raw food family with 5 kids, they travel over the world, and I know that you are against the vaccination. So how do you feel to travel, to like tropical countries like Thailand and Costa Rica and Malaysia, where is so many different sickness? You don't afraid about your kids? And
I would be afraid if I would vaccinate them. This is such a brainwashing going on from the pharma industry. Of course, once you get a shot sold people, there are so many recorded diseases and even death cases of people who got those vaccinations. There are so many cases people have been getting sick anyway with the very same diseases they should have been vaccinated against. So I totally doubt any benefits of those vaccinations in the first place. I don't see that it's doing me any good. I'd rather invest my money into good organic foods and fresh foods and veggies, and look and take my own responsibility for me and my kids to just be healthy because we eat good foods.
good food.
I often see also people just making, like excuses, and like eating like the most crappy food on earth, and then giving like chemicals and drugs and pills and vaccinations because they think that way they're going to stay healthy. It's not going to work that way. You can take responsibility on for your health. So just for my, we travel since the kids were born. So since 10 years, a decade, because that's like, I traveled for 20 years. But my kids, we traveled since 10 years with 5 kids. They've never, ever catch any disease. And we are in all tropical countries all over the time, all the time. So, if there would be a proof, it would just be our life. Nothing ever happened to us. And people can say, well, you're just lucky. If you really argument with the background of you need to get vaccinations, it doesn't really make sense being for so long in all those tropical countries and never catching any disease. On top of this, you have to see people are obviously afraid of malaria, for example. People don't have that. Malaria is just really dangerous in some little parts of Africa. And I think in little parts of the Amazon rainforest in Brazil. So they're just really small parts on Earth where it's really, you have a higher chance of getting malaria. In Thailand, nowhere you get malaria. In Costa Rica, nobody is laying down with malaria. You have in Thailand, I think, something like dengue fever. But this is, again, I'm a deep believer in you treat yourself right. If you have a good, healthy immune system, your body can fight off stuff. That's what it's there for. So you better not focus on the vaccination, which again, it's proof that this is dangerous. It's not doing any good. It's not protecting you. It's so weak. You get the live virus injected with some vaccinations. So this is weakening your immune system. And then people get weakened, and then they get other diseases. So there are so many different things why I do not. At least I also must make very clear the way how I promote this. All I can say is, we don't vaccinate with our kids. You have to do whatever you feel is the right thing to do. So I don't recommend that you have in no way to vaccinate. This is not a statement I want to do because I want to not get held responsible for people. It's the possibility that you get sick. But there's also the possibility to get sick if you have the vaccinations, So I do not recommend anything here. All I can say is we are not vaccinating. The data I've been looking in the research is that it's not really helpful. So we are not doing it, and you have to decide for yourself and your own sake what is good for you and your family. That's very clear in my statement.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very agree with you. Your family travels over the world. Would you visit Japan one day?
Of course, I'd love to see Japan. I love the culture. I love the magic of that country. I have quite some Japanese friends. I love also the culture. They're always very polite and but still have a wide range, unplaying of emotions. Very friendly people with a big heart. I'd love to see Japan at one day. That's going to happen very likely in summertime in Japan, so not in winter time.
Yeah, yeah, we will have Olympic very soon, so maybe it's nice time to come.
Yes, well, we have a lot of travel plans for the next year. The kids want to go to Africa and do a safari. They want to go to Australia and see the Aborigines. We want to go to see the World Championship, soccer, football in Brazil. We need to see family in Germany. And we're going to go to Hawaii in the next several weeks. So that alone, I feel it's like almost fills up 2014 because we always stay months in the country. We are not no tourists. We always stay longer term to make it easy on the kids and to really feel the country and to root down. So I don't think it's going to be 2014, but Japan is definitely on the list.
Yeah, yeah. Please come. I will be your guide. I will be guide you if you need guide or some question.
I'll come back to you in regard to this.
Yeah, because I was working like that. Thank you very much, dear Ka, for your time, for your great answers and advice for beginners in raw food journey. So, and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sonia, for giving me the opportunity, spreading my message also to Japan and to your people. I'd love to stay connected with you. Send all my love from Costa Rica. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. With love from Japan.
Thank you. With love from Costa Rica. Pura vida.
Have a good, nice day.